Okay, so I'm thinking for the sake of diversity and equality, that women on welfare should be eligible to be able to have IVF, in vitro fertilization treatments. Um, and shouldn't the taxpayers pay for that? I mean, we already know that medical is unreachable and unattainable for a big majority of the population of the United States. You actually have to be working if a job if you want medical. So medical for the United States is more of a thing for working people. It's not people who are on welfare, fixed incomes, no incomes, housewives, um people who need it all the same but can't get it, can't get the help. And so I was just thinking that for the sake of diversity, equity, inclusion, that shouldn't welfare people, women who want to have babies, be able to have a baby. Otherwise, you take away their choices to have a baby if they can't have one. And that's because they are on welfare. So some people choose to not have babies, other people choose to have babies. But at the same time, it's going to be unreachable for the woman who has a very limited income and not be able to freeze her eggs and go through the whole process, because I think they said the whole process is like 50,000. Well, gosh, that was maybe 10 years ago that it was $50,000 for treatments, and a lot of times they didn't work, and so they have to be repeated again. So it's very, very expensive. And so it's something that, I'm thinking that very wealthy folks would be able to afford and pay cash for. Whereas, there's been decades of research related to in vitro fertilization. And so I wanted to tag this in and tack it on with the DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion for welfare folks, because, that's where my brain goes, so I'm not an attorney or anything like that, but I'm just thinking if you're going to attach things in for diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with inflation, you've got to look towards the people who have the least in order to make it work for the sake of equality for everyone. Otherwise, it's not equality. I don't see it as equality at all. Now, medical itself is not equality at this time either, because of inflation and, fraud medical. There's so much fraud medical, fraud insurance, fraud medical products and things like that. And so that's all I have to say at this time. I'm running out of time.